Orange County and Northern New Jersey's community radio station, AM 1110 WTBQ.
Welcome, expatriates. Are you presently living outside the U.S.
or Canada? Are looking for a place abroad? Looking for that second home?
Outside North America?
Or maybe you've always imagined what it would be like to take up residence in another country.
Well then, this is the show for you. Welcome to the Expat Show.
Hosted by Tai Aguirre.
Thank you very much, and a big welcome to the Expat Show. My name is Tai Aguirre.
And I am Greta Elias, your co-host for today. It's a pleasure to be part of the show.
It's a pleasure to have you, Greta. You know, Greta, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out to join us on the show. Folks, our co-host is a very special person in her own right. She's a writer, producer, performer in film, TV, and theater. Today, Greta runs and oversees buying service and helps companies as well to find their optimum location in New York City and around the country. So if you're a company and you're looking for a place to set up your office, Greta's the person to talk to. Still one of the hottest places to travel to and to relocate is Panama. Panama presents some very exciting opportunities for living and purchasing property. But before you jump in to buy that second home or retirement property, it's vital to know the facts and the step-by-step process. Coming up right now is Alvaro Aguilar, partner in the law firm Lombardi, Cambra, and Aguilar. Alvaro talks with me about purchasing property and how it's done in Panama. His firm is located in Panama City, handles everything from expat stuff, including incorporation, trust, immigration, taxes, and real estate. Here's Alvaro. Thank you, Alvaro, for joining us on the Expat Show.
Thank you for having me on your show.
I want to travel to Panama, and I want to purchase a second home for me and my family on the beachfront. What would be the smartest approach? What is a good step-by-step approach for making this happen in Panama?
It is very important to consider that in Panama there is no difference whatsoever when you buy a property if you're a foreigner or a national. Unlike other countries, they have exactly the same rights, except when buying border property, which is not actually one of the attractive properties for the market. Like any real estate search, once you have found your property through real estate agents or through the classifieds or just by walking around the sections that you like, it is very important to conduct a title search on the property. This can be made through an attorney or through an appraiser, one of the several appraisal companies that exist in Panama and are recommended by the banks.
Yes.
Of course, it is very important and helpful if that attorney or appraiser also speaks your language, if he speaks English, because the language barrier can become an obstacle, especially when going over paper titles and other paperwork. There are some limitations to consider. For example, in islands, island property is subject to certain limitations to ensure the right of every individual to have an access to the sea. So that's something that an attorney should look at to ensure that you have proper rights at a beachfront property. Once you are satisfied with the results of the title search, and you have to consider the option of the financing. The financing can be granted by a Panamanian bank. Some of them are actively seeking the expat market. They have bilingual English-speaking personnel. They even have Cantonese-speaking personnel, and they will ask for, of course, your references and life insurance. For people that are above 65, this can be an obstacle or hurdle that will make them consider instead refinancing your first home, and with the funds that you acquire from that operation, purchase your second home in Panama.
In Mexico, when you want to buy a piece of property on the water, you are restricted because you're not a citizen. Are you saying that in Panama, we also, as a foreigner, as a North American, we can purchase property on the water?
The only restriction that exists is for foreigners not to buy property 5 kilometers away from the borders with Costa Rica and Colombia, the neighboring countries, which anyways, that's jungle. If you want beachfront property, there is really no restriction whatsoever. They don't consider it as a border.
I can own the property in my name?
Yes, sir. You can. Once you have dealt with property and the financing issue, in order to secure your property right, you have to execute a purchase agreement before a Panamanian public notary. Maybe because you don't want to buy a property in a rush. You have to leave the paperwork being dealt with. You can grant a power of attorney while you are in the States for an attorney or a real estate agent of your complete trust to make that appearance before the notary. Or in turn, you can have an attorney incorporate a corporation of which you can be the shareholder and have the president of that corporation make the appearance before a notary. Once that agreement is registered before the Panamanian Registry of Property, you are 100% owner of your dream property. And it is very important that this title be registered because this is the guarantee of your property rights being respected in the future.
In the United States, a notary is simply a witness. And in Mexico, a notary has more of a legal position. Is that the same thing in Panama, where a notary has a high legal position?
Well, I guess your background is from Mexico really helps you a lot to understand the situation. It is similar to the Mexican situation that you just mentioned.
Yes.
There, for example, just in Panama City, there are only about 12 attorneys. However, it shouldn't become difficult because they have sort of understanding with local attorneys to ensure that the procedure does not have to be time-consuming and it's fully legal.
How we can find out more about your legal firm?
You can find about our law firm at www.offshorelca.com, offshore with 2 F's, or also at www.lombardicambra, that's Lombardi, like the coach, and Cambra, CAMBRA.com.
Thank you, Alvaro.
And thank you, Alvaro Aguilar, for speaking about what we need to know before buying property in Panama.
To Frank T., our crack engineer.
All right.
Also, a great people at 1110 WTBQ Radio. Appreciate all your support.
And a big thank you especially to all of you who tune in and help make our show the expat place to tune in. Remember where your dial should be, WTBQ Radio and theexpatshow.com.
We're just a click away on your web, wherever you are, every Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So, until next time, see you next week.
See ya!